Not too long ago, we did a review on the Milwaukee Fuel M18 dual battery 9-gallon vacuum, and this guy brought up a ton of questions, and I'll put a link to that video in the description. Great video, great vacuum, but some of the questions in there were what bases work, what containers on the bottom work, what if I buy a 9-gallon and want a 12-gallon, what if I buy a 12-gallon and want a 9-gallon, what about the hoses, do the hoses work back and forth, what happens? So we went out and got a lot of different parts, and we're going to connect them up and show you what happens to a point with different accessories that you have if you change some things up. And we're going to start out with the hose. This 1 7/8 inch hose here actually flares up larger when it connects. So that allows you to also connect the 2.5 inch hose, which oddly enough kind of flares down. It is basically the same size as the hose, but you can easily connect the 2.5 inch hose up to this vacuum. Zero issue. It works. Now, if you do this, I went out and bought the 16-foot version, so I have a little bit longer hose than what comes with it. My accessories. If you don't want to buy accessories, Milwaukee has this nifty little gray seal on here. Didn't really stick out to me as to what it was for before this. Now I see, because that seal allows you to slide this in. And while I'm using a 2.5 inch hose and dropping down to a 1 7/8 inch extension, it just makes sense. It's really firm, secure in here, and then you can twist it and pull it out. So if you were using it to suck water, there's going to be nothing that's going to come through. And that little silicone seal is perfect. It pushes in, it stops at a point, and there you go. So you don't have to buy more of these if you didn't want to. And that also includes like the crevice tip in the floor nozzle. These will also push in and work just fine. I think that's awesome and a great way of thinking about it by Milwaukee, because you don't have to go out and buy a bunch of different things if you wanted to change hoses. Now all their accessories, like this is their Milwaukee air tip, and this thing is awesome. This little rubber brush, if you have a car into that, you know, all that stuff that gets into the back seat area and in the back where the carpet isn't is plush, this pulls it right out. This dude works with both. In fact, I think it works better with the 2.5 inch hose because it sits on the outside and really pushes itself in there. But you can use that with the 2.5 inch hose, or if I pull the 1 7/8 inch hose up, it will also go on the inside of the 1 7/8 inch hose. It's very tight on that, and I don't get in as far, and I got to make sure I really push it on there. But this dude works awesome. So if you upgrade this, really no difference in performance. You just get to pick up a little bit larger chips, which I think was the issue with this before with the smaller hose. Plenty of power, just didn't have the hose size. One of the downsides to going to a larger hose on a vacuum that you purchased with the 1 7/8 inch hose is going to be the hose clip, or the way to really cleanly connect everything up. 2.5 inch hose is not going to connect. I'm sure I can buy this piece. I don't know the part number of it just yet. If I figure it out, I'll put it in the description. But with that said, I really don't think I need it because everything still fits with the bungee cord and back, and I can work without it. So when you get the Milwaukee Fuel dual battery 9-gallon vacuum, you get a cart that rolls around. It's great. There's nothing wrong with it. You can pull on the hose, tow it with you. Great wheels, lockable wheels, all 4 swivel. So if you get the 6 or 9-gallon, but you want the cart that comes with the 12-gallon, that's much larger, no issue. You can just buy that cart separately, which is pretty cool. I actually like this cart a little bit better, especially for hauling around water or anything like that. It doesn't swivel complete like the 4 casters here. 2 in the back are stationary, but you can still pull it around. I like it because it gives you a little bit more room for everything. Got a handle, you can tilt it up. Job site work would be great. Bigger tires on the back. But beyond that, if you'd like, you can also purchase the different style tubs. This is a 12-gallon tub. So I know a lot of people were talking about, hey, I'd like to have the 12-gallon, but this won't fit in the back of my truck. I need to get a smaller one. And then when I really need it, you can then move over. So, cool part between these is they all fit the different models. Now you're saying, dang, you're really invested in this vacuum. And I am, but I'm missing one thing that hasn't come in yet, and that's the AC top. So what I plan to do is have two of these vacuums, one with the dual battery head and then one with the AC head. So technically I'll be able to put the AC head on whatever one fits the needs, most likely the 12-gallon tank, run the dual battery in the 6, or I can switch it up, doesn't matter. But then I have all the accessories between the two, and a lot seems to really fit together and allow me to do whatever is needed with whatever is needed. Right tool for the right job, I get to choose it. So as you can see, there is a significant tub size difference between the 9-gallon and the 12. And that's exactly why some people aren't going to want to go to the 12, but might want to go to the 6 sometimes. You have the options to go between use any of the carts. Now there is not a height difference between the larger cart with the handle and the small cart. Same height, so the only difference would be if you're putting it in the back of the truck, you'd have to push the 2 pins in the back to remove this handle, and it would be no issue. You might be able to slide the 6-gallon or maybe the 9 underneath the tonneau cover. One or the other, the 12, definitely not. So there's cool things here that you can do to mess back and forth between 2.5-inch hose. To me, is a no-brainer. If you got the 6 or you got the 9-gallon, this 2.5-inch hose that's 16 foot long is not that expensive. Upgrade to that gets you a little bit larger chip size in the beginning. You won't have the clogging issues that we had before, but at the same time, all the other accessories still worked. I think that's cool. Milwaukee put a ton of thought into this, in my mind, as to how they could make this whole vacuum system work together. While it's not the most inexpensive vacuum out there, you're paying for a lot of that research and development and a lot of the options. I get it, but man, it works. It's nice. It's awesome just to carry this vacuum around. Actually, I'm not carrying it. I'm pulling it by the hose when I'm using it 99% of the time. Very secure, it works. Once we get the AC unit up here, I'll come back, do another video, show how it performs, compare the battery to the AC unit. I think that's gonna be awesome. Now, at this point in time, they don't offer just the AC vacuum. Maybe that'll come, I don't know. That's the end game to why I purchased all this. Not only just to help you guys out to see what works, but to also get the AC unit up here, have a second vacuum. Now I can decide where the AC unit goes, what size I need, what I want to take with me for the job, and it just works. So either way, I think it's pretty cool. Leave me your comments below. Always look forward to them, positive or negative, whatever it is. Give us a like in the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Thank you for your time. Have a great day.